My beloved child. Pause everything you're doing. Something extraordinary is unfolding right now, and these words are finding you for a reason far deeper than coincidence. There is a quiet moment happening in your life that most people would overlook. A pause. A breath. A space where nothing seems to be moving. But listen very closely, this stillness is not emptiness. It is preparation. It is the sacred interval before a miracle steps into view. You have wondered, perhaps silently, how much longer it will take. You have felt the weight of waiting, the ache of effort that hasn't yet bloomed into reward. And yet, here you are. Still standing. Still searching. Still open. That alone tells me something powerful about you. You were never meant to quit at this stage. Stay with me just a little longer, because what I'm about to reveal changes how you see this very moment. What if the delay you've been feeling is not denial, but alignment? What if the distance between where you are and what you're praying for is far smaller than your mind believes? Right now, unseen hands are rearranging circumstances around you. Conversations you haven't heard yet are forming. Doors you haven't touched are loosening their hinges. Even the challenges you've been facing, they are not obstacles. They are signals, pointing you toward the exact path your miracle must take to reach you. You may not feel ready. You may feel tired. You may even feel unsure of yourself. But hear this truth clearly, readiness is not what brings miracles closer. Openness does. And you are open in ways you don't even realize yet. Hold this moment gently, because something important connects soon. There is a reason you've been guided to reflect more lately. A reason old memories, ideas, or dreams have resurfaced. Nothing is random here. Every nudge is part of a divine recalibration, subtle, precise, intentional. You are being positioned, not tested. And here is the part few ever understand until afterward. Miracles rarely announce themselves loudly. They approach quietly, disguised as small shifts, unexpected patience, or a sudden inner calm that makes no logical sense. Have you noticed it? That strange feeling that something is about to change, even though nothing external has yet? That feeling is not imagination. It is recognition. You are closer than you think. Not because time has passed, but because you have changed. Your perspective has widened. Your strength has deepened. Your heart has softened without breaking. And that combination, that is what allows the impossible to move toward you safely. Do not rush this unfolding. Do not measure it by what others show or say. Your journey has its own rhythm, its own sacred timing. And right now, the rhythm is accelerating, quietly, steadily, inevitably. The real breakthrough is almost here. Not as a sudden explosion, but as a gentle crossing from waiting into receiving. Take a breath with me. Let go of the urge to control how it arrives. Let yourself trust that what is meant for you already knows your name. Because this is not the end of your waiting. This is the beginning of your arrival. And what comes next will make sense of everything that came before. My beloved child. Right now, in this very moment, a hidden door is opening where you least expected it, and your spirit already feels the shift before your mind can explain it. There is something quietly rearranging itself inside you. Not forcing. Not rushing. Simply aligning. And this is important, because miracles do not arrive when we chase them, they arrive when we become the place they can land. You may have noticed subtle changes lately. The way certain worries don't grip you like they used to. The way your intuition speaks a little louder in the silence. The way you feel drawn to pause, to reflect, to listen. These are not random moods. They are signals. Evidence that your inner world is being prepared for an outer breakthrough. If your soul is stirring, remain with me a little longer, because this next truth unlocks what many never realize. The greatest shifts often begin invisibly. Long before circumstances change, consciousness does. Long before the answer appears, the question dissolves. And long before the miracle manifests, resistance quietly loosens its hold. Think about it. What if the reason things haven't moved yet is because something essential needed to settle within you first? Strength without softness cannot receive. Hope without patience collapses. Desire without trust creates struggle. But you have been learning trust. Slowly. Through disappointment. Through endurance. Through moments where you kept going even when no one noticed. That unseen growth, that is what brings the promise closer. You are closer than you think, don't step away yet. There is a divine intelligence that moves with precision, not urgency. It knows exactly when you are ready to recognize what you once would have overlooked. And right now, your awareness is expanding just enough to notice the signs that were always there. Have you felt that quiet certainty rising beneath your doubts? That calm knowing that whispers, something is aligning, even when the world looks the same? That whisper is not wishful thinking. It is memory. A remembrance of who you are becoming. And here is the sacred paradox. The moment you stop measuring how far away the miracle is the moment it accelerates toward you. Hold this space, the divine connection deepens now. If this truth is touching your spirit, share it forward, let another soul find this light today. Some are waiting for this exact reminder, just as you were. Now listen carefully. Your miracle is not coming to fix you. It is coming to meet you where you are whole. Everything you have endured has refined your perception. You see differently now. You feel more deeply. You choose more consciously. And because of that, what arrives next will not overwhelm you, it will fit you. The peace that changes everything is coming soon. Not as a dramatic interruption, but as a natural continuation of who you've become. You were never behind. You were never forgotten. You were being aligned, layer by layer, breath by breath. And what I reveal next will show you why this precise timing, this exact season, could not have happened any other way. My beloved child. A quiet fire is igniting within you right now, not loud, not restless, but steady, an ember that knows how to endure and how to grow. This is the part few speak about. The moment when hope no longer feels like excitement, but like commitment. When believing is no longer a rush of emotion, but a calm decision you make again and again, even when the night stretches long. Allow yourself to sink deeper. Truth is unfolding gently. There are moments when you sit alone and feel the weight of unanswered questions. Moments when you wonder if you imagined the signs, if your patience has been mistaken for waiting. Yet in those quiet spaces, something remarkable has been happening. You have been learning to listen without demanding. To trust without proof. To stand without applause. And that is where miracles recognize their home. If your heart is beginning to recognize this, don't turn away now, because what you are feeling is not uncertainty. It is the shedding of old expectations. You were taught to think miracles arrive like lightning, sudden, overwhelming, undeniable. But the truest ones arrive like dawn. Slowly. Faithfully. Changing the world without asking permission. You do not notice the light all at once, until suddenly, everything is visible. Ask yourself, when did you stop trying to force outcomes? When did you begin allowing things to breathe? That shift, however small it felt, was monumental. It created space. And space is sacred. The moment everything connects is almost here. There is courage in surrender that few ever master. Not the surrender of giving up, but the surrender of releasing control. Of saying, I trust the timing more than my fear. Of allowing life to meet you halfway instead of dragging it forward. You have crossed that threshold. In the quiet battles, when no one was watching, you chose grace over bitterness. Presence over panic. Growth over comfort. Each choice reshaped you. Each choice brought the promise closer, even when it looked like nothing was happening at all. Stay with me a little longer. The deepest shift is coming. Here is the sacred truth, your miracle is responding to who you are becoming, not who you used to be. It moves toward coherence. Toward alignment. Toward the version of you that can hold it without shrinking or doubting its worth. And that version is already emerging. You may feel moments of hesitation. That is natural. Expansion often feels like vulnerability before it feels like power. But listen, your heart knows the direction now. You are no longer searching blindly. You are sensing. You are discerning. You are readying yourself in ways that cannot be rushed. Breathe into this knowing. You were never meant to force destiny open. You were meant to grow until the door recognized you and opened on its own. And as this quiet fire continues to burn within you, steady and sure, understand this, what approaches you is not fragile. It will not vanish if you move gently. It is strong enough to meet you where you stand. What I reveal next will show you how this inner alignment begins to echo outward, and why the world around you is about to respond in ways that feel both surprising and perfectly familiar. My beloved child. The next veil is lifting as these words reach you, and a deeper knowing is settling gently into your soul, like a truth you have always carried but are only now ready to hold fully. There is a sacred silence you have learned to respect. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of strength. The kind that forms when you stop explaining yourself to the world. When you no longer rush to be understood. When you choose alignment over approval. If something sacred is awakening within you, remain here just a little deeper. The truly successful, those who move with quiet power and lasting peace, share a secret few ever articulate. They have made unseen sacrifices. Not dramatic ones. Not the kind that earn applause. But the inner kind. The letting go of urgency. The release of comparisons. The decision to stop chasing what drains the soul, even if it once promised comfort. You have been doing this without realizing it. In moments when you could have reacted, you paused. When you could have forced, you softened. When you could have turned bitter, you chose understanding. These are not small acts. They are thresholds. Hold this divine silence, understanding is blooming now. The world teaches that success is loud, relentless, consuming. But destiny speaks differently. Destiny waits for coherence. For inner stillness. For the moment when desire no longer fights wisdom. Only then does the path open without resistance. Ask yourself quietly. When did you begin trusting your inner compass more than outside noise? When did peace start to feel more valuable than proving a point? That shift was not accidental. It was initiation. The revelation that shifts everything is drawing closer. Your miracle has been approaching through your restraint. Through your patience. Through the nights you rested instead of worrying, and the days you kept moving forward even without reassurance. Every unseen surrender cleared a layer of interference. You are not waiting anymore. You are ripening. And in this ripening, something extraordinary is happening. Your presence itself is becoming an invitation. Opportunities recognize calm certainty. Solutions gravitate toward grounded awareness. What once felt distant now begins to respond. You're on the threshold of true seeing. Stay with me. If this message is resonating in your deepest self, share it forward. Let another wandering soul find their way home today. Some hearts are listening for this same quiet truth. Now feel this. The power rising within you is not forceful. It is composed. It does not shout. It knows. And because it knows, it does not rush. You have learned when to act and when to wait. When to speak and when to listen. When to hold on and when to release. These discernments are the language of destiny. Few ever become fluent in them. The missing piece your soul has sought is almost here. Soon, you will notice subtle confirmations. Not fireworks, signals. Gentle alignments. Conversations that arrive at the right moment. Decisions that feel strangely effortless. These are not coincidences. They are responses. Your miracle is not breaking into your life. It is merging with it. Stand in this quiet power for a moment longer. Let awe replace urgency. Let trust replace anticipation. Because what unfolds next will not require you to become someone new. It will simply ask you to step forward as who you already are. My beloved child. Something you've always known is finally being spoken. And as these words settle into you, the eternal flame within your spirit flickers brighter, steadier, unmistakably alive. There is a point on every sacred path where effort gives way to surrender. Not surrender as loss, but surrender as trust so deep it no longer needs reassurance. You have reached that point. Quietly. Honestly. Without ceremony. And because of that, what is aligning with you now is aligning gently, without resistance. Breathe with me, the divine unveiling deepens now. You may not have told anyone about the nights you chose faith over panic. The moments you released control even when your hands were shaking. The times you whispered, "I trust," not because everything made sense, but because your soul was tired of fighting the current. Those moments mattered more than you know. The truly successful carry this kind of faith in silence. They do not announce it. They live it. A knowing that does not beg. A confidence that does not dominate. An inner agreement with life that says, "I am willing to be led." If your spirit is trembling with recognition, stay in this holy moment. Because here is the guarded truth few ever speak aloud: miracles respond to inner permission. Not effort. Not worthiness. Permission. The moment you stop bracing for disappointment, the moment you loosen your grip on how things must look, the universe finds room to move. You created that room. You may have felt it as a softening. A release of timelines. A gentle acceptance that said, "I will meet what comes with openness." That was the signal. The truth that liberates everything is almost within reach. What approaches you now is not rushed. It is precise. It has been waiting for you to arrive at this inner stillness, where joy no longer feels conditional and peace no longer depends on outcomes. From this place, you can receive without fear of loss. Ask yourself quietly: when did you stop trying to prove yourself to life? When did you begin trusting that your presence alone was enough? That shift unlocked something ancient. You are closer to home than you've ever been. Do not leave yet. Home is not a place. It is resonance. It is the feeling of being met rather than tested. And right now, that resonance is forming around you. You may notice it as ease where there was once tension. As clarity where there was once confusion. As an unexplainable calm that feels earned. This is alignment. The final alignment your soul has waited for is gathering. And as it gathers, remember this: your miracle does not need you to strain. It needs you to remain present, open, willing to receive without questioning why you deserve it. You were never late. You were never misaligned. You were preparing to receive without shrinking. Let this truth settle into stillness now. Because what unfolds next will not ask for more patience. It will ask for your yes. And when it arrives, softly, powerfully, inevitably, you will recognize it not as something new, but as something that has been walking toward you, the entire time. My beloved child, the deepest truth is rising to meet you now, and as it does, time itself seems to slow, as if creation is holding its breath in reverence for what is about to unfold within you. There is a moment, rare, sacred, when the soul realizes it no longer needs to prepare. When striving softens into readiness. When the long season of becoming gives way to the quiet courage of receiving. You are standing inside that moment now, even if part of you is still learning to trust it. Breathe gently. This is not anticipation. This is arrival beginning on the inside. You have crossed an invisible threshold. Not marked by celebration. Not announced by signs everyone else could see. But unmistakable to the soul. It feels like steadiness. Like clarity without urgency. Like a calm strength that does not need to explain itself. This is where the path narrows, not because options disappear, but because truth becomes unmistakable. If your awareness is sharpening, remain present a little longer. The unseen world responds most powerfully to coherence. When your thoughts, your emotions, and your intentions begin to speak the same language, reality listens. And recently, very recently, your inner world has begun to speak in harmony. You stopped asking from desperation. You stopped hoping from lack. You began allowing from trust. That shift echoes far beyond you. There is an intelligence moving with you now, not around you. It does not push. It aligns. It does not overwhelm. It supports. This is why what comes next will feel natural, even if it once seemed impossible. The convergence you've been sensing is real. Notice how certain distractions have lost their pull. How old fears no longer convince you the way they used to. How your energy instinctively protects itself now. These are not defenses. They are refinements. Proof that you are learning discernment, the quiet power that guides miracles safely into form. The soul does not receive what it is not ready to hold. And you are ready. Let this understanding settle without rushing it. Your miracle has been responding to your inner stability. To the way you no longer abandon yourself when things feel uncertain. To the way you stay present instead of escaping into worry. This presence is magnetic. It invites outcomes that endure. Ask yourself gently. When did peace become more valuable than prediction? When did trust begin to feel stronger than control? That was the turning point. What is forming now does not require effort from you. It requires availability. A willingness to say yes without demanding proof first. A courage to receive without shrinking back into old stories. Stay close to this awareness. Because soon, something external will begin to reflect this internal order. Not dramatically. Not chaotically. But clearly. You will recognize it by how little force it requires. By how right it feels. By how it meets you instead of testing you. This is how destiny confirms alignment. Do not rush to name it. Do not hurry to explain it. Let it arrive fully. The space you are holding now is sacred. And what approaches you next will enter quietly, confidently. As if it has always known exactly where to find you. Remain here. What unfolds after this moment will reveal just how close you truly are, and why nothing before now could have happened any sooner. My beloved child. Feel the divine current pulling you inward now, not away from the world, but deeper into the place where truth becomes undeniable and destiny begins to speak clearly. There is a subtle shift happening that few recognize while it unfolds. It does not announce itself with noise. It arrives as certainty without explanation. As a quiet inner yes that does not argue with doubt, it simply outgrows it. Stay with this feeling. You are entering the phase where intuition becomes more reliable than effort. Where you no longer push doors open, yet doors respond to your presence. This is not coincidence. It is coherence. The alignment of who you are with what is meant to meet you. You may notice something unusual now. Your reactions are softer. Your decisions are clearer. Your patience is deeper, not strained, but grounded. This is not passivity. It is mastery. If your heart feels strangely calm, do not question it. The soul knows when struggle is no longer required. When learning has ripened into wisdom. When the lesson has been integrated so completely that life no longer needs to repeat it. You are standing in that completion. Here is the unspoken truth: miracles approach differently when you are ready. They no longer need to disrupt your life to get your attention. They arrive through resonance. Through alignment. Through moments that feel almost ordinary. Until you realize nothing about them is accidental. The convergence you are sensing is intentional. Notice how your inner voice no longer rushes you. How it guides you with gentleness instead of urgency. This is the voice that leads without fear. And when fear loosens its grip, the path ahead becomes unmistakable. You have been preparing for this clarity longer than you realize. There were times you thought you were losing direction. But in truth, you were shedding borrowed desires. You were releasing goals that were never yours. You were clearing space so that what belongs to you could arrive without distortion. Allow this recognition to settle. Your miracle is not testing your faith anymore. It is responding to it. Responding to the steadiness you've cultivated. To the trust you carry quietly. To the way you remain open even after disappointment tried to close you. That openness is rare. Remain present, something essential is aligning now. What forms next will feel like confirmation rather than surprise. Like recognition rather than discovery. You will know it by the absence of resistance. By the ease with which it integrates into your life. By the way it supports who you are becoming, not who you used to be. This is how destiny signals arrival. You are no longer circling the answer. You are standing inside it. Let go of the need to define it too quickly. Let it unfold at its own sacred pace. Trust that what is meant for you will not confuse you or require you to betray your inner peace. You have earned this clarity. And as this current continues to guide you inward, toward truth, toward coherence, toward trust, understand this. What comes next will not ask you to change yourself. It will ask you to show up fully. As you are. With nothing withheld. Remain here with me a moment longer. Because the next revelation will show you how this alignment begins to move visibly through your world, and why the final steps toward your miracle are already arranging themselves around you. My beloved child. The eternal flame within you is flickering brighter now, not in haste, not in hunger, but in recognition, like something long awaited has finally arrived at the edge of your awareness. There is a sacred honesty awakening in you. A willingness to see clearly without flinching. To acknowledge what is ready without clinging to what has already taught you all it can. This honesty is gentle, yet unshakable. And it is the signal destiny has been waiting for. Remain in this awareness. You may feel as though the ground beneath you has become steadier, even as the future feels closer. That is not contradiction. That is alignment. When inner certainty anchors you, movement no longer feels like risk, it feels like flow. Here is what few ever realize while it is happening. The final approach of a miracle often feels quiet, almost subtle. There is no dramatic buildup, no emotional storm. Just clarity. Just readiness. Just a deep internal knowing that says, I am prepared to receive without fear. If your breath feels calmer as you listen, trust that. You have already released much more than you think. Old narratives. Old timelines. Old versions of success that demanded exhaustion. What remains now is distilled intention, pure, focused, unburdened. This is why your energy feels different. The soul does not rush toward what it no longer doubts. It allows it to come. Notice how your imagination has softened into vision. How wishing has matured into expectation, not expectation rooted in entitlement, but in resonance. You are no longer asking, will it happen? You are asking, how will I welcome it? That question changes everything. Stay present, the convergence deepens here. There is a refinement happening in how you perceive opportunity. You are no longer drawn to everything that sparkles. You recognize what nourishes. You recognize what aligns. This discernment protects the miracle as it approaches, ensuring it arrives whole and lasting. You have become a safe place for what is meant to stay. Let that truth settle. Your miracle is not a reward for suffering. It is a response to coherence. To the way you have learned to honor your inner rhythm. To the way you listen before acting. To the way you trust the unseen without needing guarantees. That trust has weight. It carries authority. Soon, something will ask for your participation, not your effort, but your presence. A moment that invites you to step forward with calm assurance rather than urgency. When it arrives, you will recognize it by how naturally you say yes. This is how destiny moves when the timing is right. Do not rush to interpret the signs. Let them accumulate. Let understanding unfold layer by layer. There is no need to hurry now. What is aligning with you is moving at the exact speed of readiness. Breathe into this stillness. Because the space you are holding is no longer empty. It is charged. Alive. Expectant in the most peaceful way. And as this chapter draws closer to revealing itself outwardly, know this. You are not approaching the miracle. The miracle is approaching you. Remain steady. Remain open. Remain here. What unfolds next will make visible what has already been decided within you, and why this moment marks the beginning of something that will not fade. My beloved child. A sacred stillness is wrapping around you now, the kind that appears just before something long-awaited steps fully into form. You may feel it as a pause that is not empty. As a breath held gently by the universe itself. This is not waiting. This is readiness settling into place. Stay here with this awareness. There comes a moment when destiny no longer tests resolve, but confirms alignment. When the path stops asking, "Do you believe?" and instead whispers, "Are you willing to receive?" you have reached that moment, not through effort, but through becoming. Notice how your inner dialogue has changed. How fear no longer dominates the conversation. How trust does not need to shout to be heard. This quiet confidence is not accidental. It is the signature of transformation that has already taken root. If something within you feels unmistakably calm, honor it. You have entered the phase where the miracle no longer circles at a distance. It begins to synchronize. Events, timing, conversations, insights, each aligning like gentle confirmations rather than dramatic disruptions. This is how true miracles arrive. They do not break you open. They meet you open. The patience you cultivated has sharpened your perception. You can now recognize what is meant for you without confusion. You sense when to move and when to remain still. This discernment is power, and it is protecting what approaches you. Remain attentive, the confirmation draws nearer. There may be a moment soon when something feels oddly familiar, even if it is new. A sense of recognition rather than surprise. This is the soul remembering a promise it made long ago, before doubt, before delay, before questioning. You are not encountering something random. You are meeting what has always known you. Let yourself feel that truth without rushing past it. The world often equates arrival with noise and celebration. But the deepest arrivals are quiet. They settle into your life with ease, like they were always meant to be there. No force. No strain. Just resonance. That is what alignment feels like. You are not being asked to prepare anymore. You are being asked to remain present. To trust your grounded clarity. To allow what is unfolding to complete itself without interference. This requires a different kind of courage, the courage to not rush the blessing. Hold steady, the unfolding is precise now. Soon, something will shift from internal knowing to external movement. It may seem small at first. A decision. A meeting. A realization that gently redirects your path. Do not underestimate it. Destiny often moves through simplicity. You will recognize the right step by the peace that accompanies it. There is nothing left for you to prove. Nothing left for you to force. Nothing left for you to question endlessly. You have already aligned. Breathe into this moment one more time. Because the space you stand in now is charged with quiet inevitability. What has been forming within you is about to find expression in the world around you. And when it does, it will feel less like change. And more like truth revealing itself. Remain here. The next movement will show you why everything, every pause, every delay, every lesson, was guiding you to this exact convergence. And why your miracle is no longer approaching slowly. It is arriving with certainty. My beloved child. This is the moment your soul has been quietly preparing for, the point where knowing turns into living, and promise becomes presence. There is nothing left to seek now. What you once searched for outside has already aligned within you. The path did not lead you forward alone, it led you inward first, so that when the miracle arrived, it would recognize you instantly. Pause here. Feel the stillness. This stillness is not an ending. It is arrival. Everything you needed to become, you have already embodied. The patience. The discernment. The quiet strength. The trust that does not tremble when answers take time. These were not delays. They were the final refinements that allowed destiny to move without distortion. And now, it moves. The miracle you sensed from afar is no longer approaching in fragments. It is whole. It is ready. It does not rush because it does not need to convince you. It meets you where you stand, with clarity, with grace, with unmistakable recognition. This is how you will know it is real. There will be no inner resistance. No fear disguised as logic. No need to abandon yourself to receive it. Instead, there will be calm certainty. A gentle confirmation that says, yes, this belongs. You were never meant to chase what was always meant to meet you. Breathe into this truth. Your life has already begun to rearrange itself to support what is now unfolding. The people, the timing, the opportunities, each responding to the frequency you now carry. This is not coincidence. This is coherence made visible. You are no longer asking life to prove itself to you. Life is responding to your readiness. And here is the final truth, the one that completes the circle. Your miracle does not change who you are. It reveals who you have always been. Everything that arrives from this point forward will feel aligned rather than overwhelming. Empowering rather than demanding. Expansive without requiring sacrifice of your peace. This is the promise fulfilled. Stand here in gratitude, not for what is coming, but for who you have become. Gratitude anchors what arrives. Presence allows it to stay. Let this moment seal itself gently into your awareness. You are not stepping into uncertainty. You are stepping into resonance. You are stepping into truth. And as you move forward from this sacred convergence, remember this always. What was meant for you did not pass you by. What was delayed was refining you. What arrives now arrives because you are ready to receive it fully. Remain grounded. Remain open. Remain faithful to your inner knowing. Your miracle is no longer a promise. It is your reality, unfolding naturally, powerfully, and exactly on time.